Well, hello, hello. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Let me ensure we have sound and you can hear us. If you can hear us, please tell us where you are watching. Tell us your branch of service. We want to send you shout out, but also introduce you to a great community that is today joining us, and we'll share a little bit more. Today, we're celebrating our military spouse circle of influence, but let's ensure we have sound. Thank you, Latasha, for making that introduction. So, if you are not sure why we're here, let me tell you, we are here. This is our webinar. Wednesday discussion here through Blue Star Careers. Of course, let me first acknowledge that we are in June, a natural point for employee performances, reviews, goal setting, all kinds of great personal check ins. So it's the perfect time for you to do your mid year check in and perhaps invest in upskilling opportunities, a change for you to grow. And so, with that being said, we are here at Blue Star Families excited to introduce to you our Military Spouse Circle of Influence. What is that? Well, we're going to tell you in just a little bit. But this is all with great intent. We aim to support more military spouses by identifying trailblazers from each of our branch of services who have an incredible career journey. And through community connections and their leadership, we're going to do our best to reach more military spouses and, of course, support you when it comes to career trajectory resources and identifying better resources that hopefully will help you in creating a better pathway for your career trajectory. So, with that being said, I love to be able to encourage you to please tell us where you're watching. Also, tell us your branch of service. Let's send shout outs. We have a representative for almost every branch of service today, and we love to be able to send shout outs to you and be able to connect with you as well. And then you can also follow up and meet with every single one of these leaders in the neighborhood. We'll share the link in just a little bit if this is the first time you are watching our webinars. So without further ado, let's get started. Thank you so much for your support. Let's begin. Well, hello, hello. Welcome once again to our live webinar. We are streaming live all across the US, LinkedIn, Facebook, of course, our digital platform. Wherever you are watching, tell us where you're watching, send a shout out, and then let's connect with you. Up, and we have a very special guest, but it looks like we might have lost his connection. So if we can, we'll get him back in just a second. There we are. Dalton, thank you so much for joining us. Today, we have a very special guest, our partner, who is Dalton, who's here to talk a little bit more about this great initiative. He's going to lead us and update us about some great contributions that Target is doing, because Military Spouse Circle of Influence is powered by Target, and not just Military Spouse Circle of Influence. We have a lot of great initiatives in our community. If you have recently logged into our neighborhood careers group, you know that it says they're powered by Target. So, but first, let me just allow Dalton to introduce himself and tell us a little bit more about his career trajectory, all these great work he's doing behind the scenes to support our community. Dalton, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate the invite.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And you're here because you are currently steering this incredible initiative we have here going on, Military Spouse Circle of Influence. And of course, this is very much mirrors a lot of the great initiatives that Target currently is doing. And of course, in the past has been doing to support community, our military. But first, would you give us a little bit more about your own background, your military connection, just anything in general you think our community should know about you?
Absolutely. So my name's Dalton Rose. I spent just under 10 years in the Marine Corps with experience in military police corrections, and then a couple years as a recruiter in the state of Indiana. I've been with Target for a little over 3 years. Prior to that, I spent about a year at a startup company, but I currently sit as a lead recruiter on our global supply chain talent acquisition team, where I help people find meaningful employment within the organization. And I'm also on our military belonging community leadership team, where I lead our development pillar across the enterprise. Personally, girl dad through and through. I have a 4.5-year-old and 2.5-year-old, and then I'm married to my wife, who is also a Coast Guard veteran. So that's me in a nutshell.
Wow, thank you so much for your service, and thank you so much for supporting our community. So I guess we can say you're also a military spouse in a sense.
Yep,
Yeah. So
absolutely.
perfect. So we love dual identification, and because you do know a little bit of some of the challenges, the good, but also things that perhaps have a little bit room for extra support. And this particular initiative, of course, in all the great work that you guys are doing through our community to elevate our space among military. Target is really investing in our community. So I do want to ask you, when you came, aware of this particular opportunity, um, or just in general for support for our military in general, military families, can you share a little bit what Target is currently doing to support and elevate further more initiatives so that more military families can benefit?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'd say specifically within the last probably 2 or 3 years, we've done a couple things both internally and externally to the company. One of those being the PCS List Assist, which I know is a huge hit, where we helped, with lists around Target about what you can shop for when you're PCSing, things like plungers that people don't want to take with them, or cups and plates and bowls and things like that. We've also done educational workshops for military spouses to help them translate their experience and find meaningful employment. I think the benefit is, 90% of the population lives within 10 miles of a Target store. We also have our military belonging community, which is Target's version of an employee resource group, where we have a bunch of different pillars focused on, development, belonging, communication, and we have a lot of military spouses that volunteer on the leadership team there. And then probably one of my big favorites is the military discount. It started this past Sunday on the 22nd. It goes all the way to July 5th. So you can get a 10% discount on two purchases in store or online. If you haven't done that yet, go ahead and download the Target app or go to target.com, and you'll be able to learn more about the military discount there.
Wonderful. And sure love discounts in the military, of course. I know I love discounts. So
Yep.
thank you so much for highlighting that and reminding us that we have that going on as well. So now, as I just discovered, also military spouse yourself, kind of like quietly, softly, organically carrying that very proudly. When you became aware of this particular initiative here through our military careers community, why was this such a good fit, or it aligned with you, with your current initiatives? What inspired you to support it?
Yeah, I think, personally, when you look at the military spouse community, there's an employment crisis. A lot of our military spouses are either, underemployed or unemployed. Professionally, we can look back to Target's purpose and our values with the goal of helping all families discover the joy of everyday life, not just one specific demographic. And I think when we look at a partnership with Blue Star Families and the partnership with the Military Spouse Circle of Influence, a lot of it is, it's not just throwing a bullseye on a campaign and calling it good. It's really partnering with the experts in the space who are involved in the local community, that can really help the military families. So I think that's one thing that we were looking at. And when you look at what your team does, focusing on like empowering, connecting, and uplifting military spouses through mentorship, shared experiences, things like that, I think that aligns pretty well with Target's ethos.
Absolutely, thank you. And I'm glad that you mentioned in your reference back about connecting with experts, because we have experts backstage who we're going to meet in just a little bit. And they are all experts in their own community. Because I don't know about you, Dalton, but I speak Marine Corps spouse and now retired life. So my challenges are very different now than what perhaps a military spouse in the Navy might be, or what they might be experiencing at the current moment. So we're really looking forward to getting to know more about what they do and what they'll be doing to support our community and really highlight their expertise. But before we move on to meet them, are there any or the programs or initiatives currently that target that you believe that aligns with the Military Spouse Circle of Influence or MSCI initiative? Any other things that we should know that we can support you?
Yeah, I think we do a lot of things internally. I think specifically with volunteer events. Annually, Target has the goal of having 1 million volunteer hours. A lot of that happens, throughout the year, but I would say a big push is in November when we celebrate Military Heritage Month at Target. We have a lot of different events throughout the month, some specific to military spouses, some specific to just military connection as a whole. So I think those volunteer opportunities would definitely be huge, and then just exploring other potential partnerships in the future.
Wonderful. And one thing that I always like to ask our guests, what about you particularly, you, Dalton, the service member, but also target employee? What are you doing personally that we can all support you as a community, connect with you, and then follow up with you on LinkedIn, maybe send you shout outs? What can we do to support you in general as well?
Absolutely. I'm always open to a LinkedIn connection. Personally, I'm involved in my local community with organizations and other nonprofit organizations helping. I live in Northeast Indiana, so helping veterans in the state of Indiana. But personally, I would say just follow along the Target LinkedIn page and other social media, and then feel free to shoot me a connection request, and we'll keep everybody up to date on what we're doing.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing that, and we'll definitely will follow up. Everyone, I'll share his Dalton's LinkedIn profile in the comments later on, or you can also meet his profile in the neighborhood, so where you can meet every of the other leaders who we're about to introduce to you. So, Dalton, are you ready to meet all of our leaders and bring them all back front stage? And so we are going to get to know them now, and then get to know more a little bit about their work, their goals, why this initiative was such a good fit for them, but also how they each of them really has experienced military spouse life based on their specific branch of services. So, team, thank you so much. Our military spouse circle of influence leaders, welcome so much, and thank you for taking time out of your busiest schedules to be here. I'm going to take on Elizabeth and say, Elizabeth, please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your career trajectory, and also, your branch of service that you represent, so that it becomes like drum roll for our community.
Of course. Hi, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Whitus, and I'm proud to be an Air Force spouse for just a little over 9 years now. My career path has been centered in project management, and for the past 3 years, I've had the unique privilege to work directly with the Air Force, primarily in the healthcare operations section. My goal through Blue Star Families is to empower fellow military spouses by sharing resources, building connections, and helping them reach their goals and aspirations.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Who would you like us to get to know more?
I'll pass it over to Kristen.
Kristen.
Hi, I'm Kristen, and I'm representing the United States Marine Corps spouses, and I'm very grateful for this opportunity. I have just over about 15 years of experience in project management and operations, as well as volunteering for numerous organizations, nonprofits that have supported military families and just our community throughout nationwide and also abroad. I'm very grateful for this opportunity to serve our military families. I think one of the biggest challenges that I have experienced personally myself is the constant PCSing throughout the many years and changing careers. You fall in love with your job, you fall in love with the people you work with, and leaving that and going to different locations and building your community can be a challenge. and finding those resources continuously. So I think that what Blue Star Neighborhood has created, this virtual neighborhood, and bringing everyone together, and all of the resources that they provide is an excellent experience. And I look forward to, sharing that and sharing more about those resources, and just bringing people together in the community and making sure that people don't feel, left out or alone, and know that they've got a community that they can come to, a neighborhood.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kristen. And who should we pick next?
Let's go with Elizabeth.
Oh, Elizabeth just went through. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Andrea, my apologies.
It's okay.
Hi, everyone. It's so nice to meet you. It's so nice to be a part of this webinar. My name is Andrea Atwood. I go by Tree. I am the Space Force spouse. So we did 20 years in the Air Force, and then about 4 years ago, my husband switched over to the Space Force. So it's been really exciting. The Space Force is new. We get to experience new things. We get to challenge the narrative on what we're seeing within our communities. I have a background in behavioral health, and I have worked with individuals with substance use disorder, mental health issues. So that's something I am very, very passionate about, is ensuring that we have access. So, the virtual neighborhood is amazing. And now also transferring it into our local neighborhood and building that community, building that love for each other, I think will be pretty amazing. So I'm excited to be here. I'm going to pass it over to Ray.
Hi, thank you so much, Tree. Good afternoon. My name is Ray Wright Ingram. I reside in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Military life has been with me since I was born. I am an Army brat who was born at Spangdahlem Air Force Base in Germany. And I'm married to a Navy brat who's active duty Navy. And so I'm representing the Navy for this new initiative. I'm really excited because I'll be able to bring my lived experience, both as a military dependent and spouse, to the community. Most of my work for the last 15 years, with 8 of that being primarily remote, has been working with nonprofits, social impact organizations, and early stage startups. Most of my work has been concentrated on operations, project and program management, and community engagement. And so what I'm really particularly excited about for Navy spouses and the community at large is connecting them to remote and portable opportunities where they'll be able to leverage the skills they may obtain, or skills or certifications they may obtain through certification programs through MyCAA or SECO, so that they can find meaningful jobs that they can continue regardless of when they PCS or if they transition out of the military. So I'm very grateful and honored to be a part of this community, and I look forward to seeing you all in the neighborhood. And I'll transition it over to, let's see, I should know. I got one. Hold on. Aurora. Thank you.
She picked me before. Perfect timing. Hi, everybody. My name is Aurora Talent. I'm going to be representing the Coast Guard. My husband's been active duty in the Coast Guard for about 8 years now. So I'm super excited to represent all the Coastie spouses. A little bit about me. I started out my career in teaching. I've taught over 5.5 years in 3 different states, and really loved my teaching career with elementary students. However, once I had my son in 2022, I really dove into my passion of helping military families and spouses. And I was actually super privileged to be a part of launching the Blue Star Connect Outdoors location here. And I've gotten to help over 200 families, military families, be outdoors and get to experience the benefits of being outdoors with their family, and getting that gear to help them get outdoors on their own as well. And this past year, I also got to launch an initiative at my base in Miami of a free thrift store, kind of like an airman's attic, called the Coast Guard Warehouse. That need came out of conversations with spouses here about the rising financial stress and cost that it was putting on spouses and families. So I was super excited to help get that resource started. And as far as my trajectory of goals is to keep helping military spouses and families in any way I can. So I'm super excited to be part of this initiative. And as far as the goal for this initiative and my job specifically as a Coast Guard representative is to really help and hone in on the Coast Guard of the small boat stations. The unique aspect of Coast Guard is that we're a smaller branch, so unfortunately, we get placed at smaller locations. So I'm really interested in honing in on as many locations as possible, Chamber of Commerce and the local governments to help get those resources to those spouses. So yeah, that's about me in a nutshell. But I'm super grateful for the opportunity and super excited to help as many of the spouses and get those resources as possible in the next few months. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Lewis.
Hi, my name's Louise Jordan. I'm glad that my video is working. I'm an Army spouse of about 16 years, and I'm really excited to represent the Army branch of the Military Spouse Circle of Influence, supported by Target and Blue Star families. Thank you. So I've navigated many, many moves all over the country and all over the world, 9 to be exact, while raising kids through deployments. And I know how hard it can be to start over and also how isolating it can be. I also know how powerful community and connection is. So I'm here to support Army spouses through the ups and the downs, whether it's a PCS move, career gap, or just to be someone who understands what they're going through. I also want spouses to be recognised for the talent that they actually bring, based on all the things that we go through being a military spouse. The Army community is very strong, but it's very spread out. So I want to bridge that gap and make sure every spouse knows that they're not alone. So I'm here to help. Thank you.
Awesome. So thank you. So as you can see, Dalton, we have an incredible team of leaders. We are so blessed to have so many great contributors, all walks of life, but also areas of expertise. And what an honor to be in the same virtual room with you, all of you guys. Thank you so much for raising your hand and contributing to this space. Dalton, I'm going to put you back on the spot. And is it any thoughts or any highlights as they all made their introduction?
No, this is super cool. I think about, a lot about my role in talent acquisition as being a brand ambassador for the organization that I work for. It's a lot about telling the story. If you scroll through LinkedIn pages or other social media pages, I kind of post the random stuff that nobody talks about, like struggles with depression, anxiety, alcoholism, what my transition journey was like. And it's lost a lot of times of what military spouses go through, and I'm guilty of it too. I transitioned out of the Marine Corps 5 years ago, I think, and a lot of it was like, oh, this sucks for me, like, oh, this is bad, but never really looked to think about how my wife was doing and how she was navigating all those emotions and the adjustment from life. So I appreciate you guys putting this into perspective, for telling your stories and also advocating for those who either can't or don't know how to. So I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I know I was mentioning earlier backstage with Elizabeth, when we were transitioning in my late career blooming life in the Marine Corps spouse, I thought my deployments and my stuff, my movings were bad. But once I met other Army spouses or other branch of services colleagues, and I was like, okay, then I guess maybe it is still challenging, but not so challenging like my colleague next door, who probably gets to experience it a little bit harder. So we all own a very unique lifestyle, and to get to know more experiences through the lenses through your own work team. So very excited to to get to know more a little bit about the projects that you'll be conducting. Do want to take this moment to acknowledge some shout outs and members who are watching. So Ali, thank you so much. Ali, happy Wednesday to you too. Thank you all the way from the West Coast. Latasha, thank you for watching. Hello, all the way in California, of course. Air National Guard. Okay, coming soon now, Latasha. So stay tuned. Hopefully, we'll get some more opportunities to expand this as well. Um, then we have Larry. Thank you, Larry, for the note, and thank you for DC. We'll read this a little bit further, but thank you so much. We love that you are supporting this morning. Thank you, and Angie, thank you for watching from Texas, El Paso. Well, beautiful, beautiful. Station out there. So enjoy the beautiful hot weather soon. Megan, thank you so much for supporting. And we'll let you know, Megan, how to participate. For now, meet us in the neighborhood. Every single one of them have a community out there. They'll be leading, will be supporting. So thank you so much. Dan, Marine, thank you so much for all of this. Larry as well. Thank you all the way to Southern California. Thank you so much for the shout out as well. We'll read your message in a little bit longer. And thank you, Charlene Moss, for supporting as well. So glad to see this. Great. Thank you so much for your comment. Air National Guard. Latasha, one more comment here. Thank you very much. We loved that you are supporting this. And then if you continue to, of course, keep sharing your comments, your messages. We also have some on Facebook, and we have other ones in our community. Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Laverne, Shantae, Thompson. Thank you for supporting. Um, and not to make, because we have a lot of work and a lot of great roads to cover for everyone. As you know, we all have different pathways, different branch of services that will be supporting. But I just want to turn it back to the group and see if anybody would like to share any thoughts, any other spotlights, any personal projects you have going on aside from supporting the military spouse community, of course, that we can all support you, something you're passionate that you like to take time to share right now. I'm gonna put you on the spot, Andrea. I think like you and I are talkers, and we just love to share with our community. So, anything you have going on, you would like to share about this, or anything else that is going on.
Of course. Being a military spouse is just a very interesting thing. We are a part of this small community. I feel like we have an ability to reach each other. It's something that in 23 years that I've always been like super passionate about, because I don't know about the rest of you all, but I came from just a family, and I ended up marrying my husband at 22 years old and jumping into this military life. And I was like, wait, what is this? And he deployed 6 months into our first year of marriage. So, I'm just really excited that we have this opportunity. It's something that's really been on my heart. I've actually looked into ways how we can create these communities on my own. So I feel super blessed that we're here with Blue Star Families and Target. It's really exciting. I do a lot of volunteer work. Dalton, I know you mentioned substance use disorder, mental health. Again, that's something I'm really, really passionate about. Preventing overdose. I am a board member of a nonprofit here in Colorado called KK Fearless. KK Fearless is a nonprofit that's goal is to ensure that we go into different facilities that are treating individuals that may have a substance use disorder and providing musical instruments. So it's, we all feel a certain way about music. So this is a great way for individuals seeking that recovery journey. So I'm really excited about that and just sharing it with others. And again, just connecting the community to volunteer opportunities so we could all work together. Colorado Springs is a huge military, has a huge military component. We have 3 Space Force bases now that used to be Air Force bases. And then we also have Fort Carson, a huge Army base. So I'm just excited about this collaboration. It's just, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, yeah, let's do this. So I'm just excited to be here. Thank you, Laura.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone. Everybody else would like to chime in a little bit more. I know our internets, I think, are getting, it's that time of the month, the time of the day. And I think also Some areas where it's a little hotter or perhaps with storms, it tends to affect our bandwidth. But also to be mindful of Dalton because he has to go and hire lots of people, and we want to send lots of traffic as well to keep him busy as well, career opportunities. So, any last minute thoughts as we get ready to close? Anybody out there, please chime in. This is your time. No, shine. Okay. I'm going to put Dalton then on the spot. Dalton, thank you so much for your contribution, for being here with us, taking time out of your busy schedule. Anything else you'd like to share as we wrap up on behalf of Target, or also just on behalf of our retired Marine Corps community?
I would just say thank you for having me, and don't forget to use your Target discount.
There we go. That's perfect. Beautiful. So for everybody else, thank you so much for watching. Thank you. Keep pushing your comments. We'll come back and we'll ensure that we highlight you and also write you. Anything else that you need, just meet us in the neighborhood. Links are down below where you can meet everyone out there and connect and then help us. Together we do more. Remember that. Together we do more. So if you would like to volunteer, if you like to follow, we like to spotlight, we like to share and just elevate more our work, please connect with us, meet us all in the neighborhood. Now there's more of us and we can certainly take care of you. All right. Thank you so much for supporting and for your comments. We look forward to connecting with every single one of you guys later on. Thank you.